So on my old channel, right, I told about what happened to me in my NDE or near death experience and or a coma that I went into, which happened both due to the same thing. And on my original TikTok channel, I had told the story, but back then I only had like 3-minute videos and it kind of took forever. So I did have people ask me if I would tell a more detailed version of what happened during this, um, to the best of my old ass memory. Um, some of the things that happened I'll never forget. But I was there for longer than you would think. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just start from the beginning and I'll make this into a few videos, due to it taking a while to tell, period. And because I don't want to try to remember it all at once because I won't get certain details down correctly. But starting from the beginning, I was having seizures due to a undiagnosed medical issue. And I was having them once or twice a week, and it was really messing me up. I mean, I had trouble remembering things. I had, um, you know, permanent memory loss in certain situations. It was just very dangerous. And it was taking me a while back then because I didn't have health insurance to get it resolved. So, due to the fact that I couldn't get stuff resolved, I couldn't come up with a fix for these seizures. And they kept happening, and I just kept dealing with them to the best of my ability. Well, due to the fact that I didn't have a way to permanently fix the problem, one night happened where I had a seizure, and as I woke up out of the seizure, for anybody who hasn't had one, you come to. It's kind of like if you've ever been knocked out in a fight or knocked out due to other means. You come to and you're kind of like, what's going on? You're lost. Um, and then with seizures, especially because your brain had to skip, like it skipped a beat. So it's hard to get back any realization of what's happening. I would always wake up looking at myself in the mirror in the bathroom, usually blood coming out of my mouth because you bite your tongue, and not knowing what was happening, and it was terrifying, truly. Anyway, so I ended up having a seizure, and then as I was trying to come out of that seizure, I had another one. And your brain needs to have time to kind of get back on track a little bit, which is why you never, sorry, when I wake up in the morning, I have really bad cotton mouth due to all the medications that I take. So I have to take a sip of water because I talk a lot and things get very dry. Anyway, so you have to have a while for it to get back on track. Well, this one particular time, I didn't give it enough time before I had another seizure. So I ended up, again, I was in the seizure, so I don't know what happened. All I know is had a seizure, went to come out, boom, all of a sudden, according to my mom, I'm in the hospital. And apparently I had a few other seizures before I ever got any sort of consciousness back, which, if you don't know, is extraordinarily dangerous. To have like back to back to back to back seizures like that, all within an hour or two, can kill you. Pure and simple. Well, apparently, things didn't. When you have a seizure, it's kind of like rebooting a computer. Things have to have time to come back on. And you have systems inside your brain that control different parts of your body. Well, if those systems never get to reboot, then it can cause death. And apparently, what happened due to, the multiple seizures, things didn't come back on time, and my lungs apparently stopped working. I'm not a doctor, obviously, so I don't know the exact terminology. All I know is that I had my first NDE of two. I've had two NDEs in my life, and my second NDE was much more, at least the NDE part of things, was much more detailed. This one was more about the following coma than it was about the NDE itself. Because when you mention near-death experience, people want to know, well, what happened? What'd you see? And I totally get that. I, still, even though I've had two, still to this day want to know what people see and what people experienced. But for this first one, it was more about what came next. And during the set of videos that I'm going to make, I'll explain. But I'll start off with multiple seizures led to a passing away for, I'm not sure exactly how long it was. I know the second one that I had years later was 56 seconds. This one was supposedly close to around that same amount of time. So let's just say it was under a minute, but I think it was over 30 seconds. Sorry. Again, if I'm going to talk like this, I have to drink. Because my throat, I get to a point where I literally can't swallow. Pardon me. So all of a sudden I wake up, but it was not waking up here. And I was in this warehouse. And it was a giant, kind of torn down warehouse. Like, I say warehouse, but it was more like a warehouse barn. And that probably makes no sense. But imagine a barn that got turned into a warehouse that was made of light, as well as some kind of solid structure. And I think the light was whatever kind of atmosphere was in this place that I was waking up. So I wake up and I'm in this place and I'm obviously non-coherent, really. And just to get this out of the way early before I go into more details, this place I was in, it wasn't dream. It wasn't, I've taken LSD, I've taken mushrooms, I've taken different hallucinogens years and years ago. And it was nothing like any of those things. This was just as real as it is right now. Except it wasn't here. I would even say it might have been more real. And I know that doesn't make any sense to somebody who hasn't experienced it. But just to end this first video, because I'm close to the 10-minute mark already. Seizures. I wake up in this barn warehouse of light place. And suddenly I'm in a place with a purple sky. And I'm out in a field with grass, but I'm smelling scents that I've never smelled before. And I'm seeing colors that I've never seen before. And again, imagine that, but imagine it being just as real as this. Not a dream, not a hallucination. It's real. And that's where I'm going to end this first video. Because I got like 20 seconds left. I will be making a few follow-up videos to explain the entire situation that I'm in. But let's just say, and let's just end it with, I was no longer in this dimension. I'll see you on the next video.